So we're back with another episode, a very, very special episode that many of you have been waiting for, with the one and only Mr. Bob Kelly.
Sing along, whoa, 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 those Wildwood days.
As you can see, we're here in Wildwood. I'll give you a quick pan up to the boardwalk.
Yeah, we got the boardwalk up here. They're playing Wildwood Days right now.
We got the beach over here behind us, right? We got it all going on. So Wildwood Days is blasted in the back, which is great, right?
Every day at 11 o'clock, they play the national anthem, God Bless America, and Wildwood Days. And here we are, 11 o'clock, TikTok, 11 o'clock.
Right on the money. So listen, I wanted to quick set up Bob because I want to give you a little backstory. Here's the deal. Bob is a born and bred Northeast Philly guy, went to North Catholic, right?
Yep.
And then, fast forward to the future, here we are in Wildwood. Bob is obviously, you all know Bob. He's a newscaster. He's a news anchor. I mean, I don't know how you...
Fox Philadelphia.
Fox Philly. Bob Kelly Live.
Wow, Fox.
So, everybody knows Bob, Double Dilly Donut, Jambo.
Country Curve.
And all that great stuff. So that's Bob. I mean, and everybody, everywhere you go, and everywhere I've been with Bob, everybody knows Bob. It's like, hey, Bob, it's everywhere you go. And he's beloved, a great guy, and does some great stuff. And that is exactly what I want to talk about, which is the great stuff that Bob does that is his passion. So Bob has a charity called Kelly's Kidz, and many of you probably already know that, but it's a pretty special thing, and it started out pretty innocently, obviously, but he came by it honestly. He didn't start it on purpose. He started it out of not even out of necessity, but it's just something that happened to you, right?
Yeah, so when my son Austin, he's going to be 10, when he was 8 months old, we had to rush him to the hospital. He's kind of turning purple, had trouble breathing. Long story short, after spending a couple of days in a hospital, it was the formula. He was allergic to an ingredient in the formula that happens to maybe 1 in a million kids. But for those 2 days that we spent in the hospital, my life came to a crashing halt. Anybody else who's been through this, you know what I'm talking about. And while we were in the hospital, I realized that there were so many other families and children that were in there and had much greater problems than we did. And when you're in the hospital, you're there 24/7 and trying to keep these kids occupied while they're getting their treatment. Some kids are in there for a week, others are in there for years. And they had nothing to play with. They had nothing to keep them busy. At home, they got their Xbox. They got, you know how hard it is getting the kids to stay occupied at home.
I do know.
Yeah, but in the hospital, it was tough. So I thought, what can I do to help the hospital? And one of the things was, distraction items. Toys, bubbles. You'll be amazed at some of the basic, simple things that'll keep a little kid occupied. Somebody who's a year old, 2 years old, somebody that's 12 doesn't want bubbles, they want an Xbox. Yep. So I started a charity of, incorporate a 501(c)(3). It's called Kelly's Kidz. And using the microphone and camera that I have with me every day, trying to highlight certain local businesses, helping other businesses that in turn can help the kids. So for example, we did a happy hour, the no shower happy hour. I just asked everybody to bring a toy for St. Christopher's Hospital, and it just ballooned from there. So that's basically the concept. I'll do a happy hour at night. I get a chance to go to the neighborhoods. The bar and restaurant gets a hit because they get a crowd. And all I ask people to do is bring a toy for the hospital. And then I met Tim through Clark Griswold. The Griswolds over there in Mullica Hill.
Good old Stevie.
Yeah, good old Steve. That's how I met Steve. And Tim was cousin Eddie. And to this day, we've helped each other. I've helped Tim with speak at his company and the Chamber of Commerce. And Tim has been gracious enough to come out on all of our Christmas events. His cousin Eddie. If you haven't seen Tim in his house coat, and he's got legs, you got to check it out.
And my robe.
Yeah. But that's how it is. You're just helping, when you talk about a passion. And to me, that's the passion. I've been very, very grateful to be born and raised in Philly, my hometown, and work in my hometown. And back to what you said, everybody knows me. It's because I've been here for 30 some years.
Right.
Television and radio. We're gonna get hit with the tram car here. Watch the tram car, please.
That's right. I was thinking that.
But you know, I've been gracious and blessed to be able to be here in my hometown, and that makes it even easier to be able to help others. And you know, when that first event we did, and we were able to take the toys down to the hospital.
Oh.
Wow! You were with us on one of the trips.
I was there. Right? So what ended up happening was at the last minute we had trouble. He had trouble getting the toys over there. We were going to take the RV, and the RV wouldn't run.
Yeah.
So we had to get some vehicles. So we had my company take everything out of all of our trucks, and we brought them over, and we took all the toys over that day.
So we had a caravan.
Up or over?
We'll stay this way.
Okay.
No, let's go this way. To the right. Whoop. I'm the traffic guy.
There you go. He's the traffic guy. Jimmo!
What's up, guys? How are you? What's up, man? How are you? Beach Patrol, keeping everybody safe.
We're live.
You got it. We're live.
We're live.
Wow, good morning. Come on, keep pedaling.
All right.
You got it.
Don't stop.
So yeah, and that day, Tim brought about 10 of his trucks. He got all of his employees. They emptied everything out, and we had a caravan up and over to Ben Franklin Bridge into Philadelphia, right into the hospital. And just that coming all together was, we had the tree on top of the
All
car.
the last minute. That was the night before.
My God, yeah, it was crazy. But to see those kids at the window,
Oh my God.
waiting for some toys, any toy. It could be a $2 truck or a $10 Barbie. It didn't matter. They had visitors, and that was the other thing.
And we went upstairs that day.
Yeah, we were, because COVID hadn't hit at that point, and you were allowed to meet the kids. The kids were, that were okay to come down. Where, you know, had somebody come and visit them. Again, if you were in the
It was
hospital,
amazing. It was one of those days that for me, you know, to Bob's credit, for me, you know, literally changed me. You know, just seeing some of these kids and some of these families. I remember one of the fathers coming up to me, and I'm just dressed up like Eddie, and the guy asked me, he said, "Hey, would you mind, you know, talking to my kid who he had on his phone, who was upstairs in the hospital?" And honestly, I was just floored at, you know.
well, the difference that you made in that little child. There's a little kid wasn't allowed to leave his hospital bed because he was so sick, but Tim coming down in his cousin Eddie outfit made the world of difference to this little guy.
It was so much fun to be able to do something like that and then feel that impact. You know.
You know, when we do the happy hours, you know, everything that we get from that goes into the charity, so that we can, you know, like the hospital said, listen, we need toys for boys ages 7 to 9, like whatever we collect, we're a little short here, or we need this, or we need pajamas, we need socks, they needed underwear. So you'd be amazed at the stuff that they come up with. So the donations that we get, that's what we take that, and then we buy and fill in the gaps for what the hospital needs. And you know, it's like you take a lot for granted. Like, you know, if you have healthy children, God bless you, as I do, and just the feeling you get when you can give back. And not just that, when we're doing a happy hour and somebody comes in and brings in a toy or a pair of pajamas that they were able to go to Target and purchase, and now they feel like they're a part of it.
Exactly right.
They feel so good because now they've contributed whatever that item is.
Doesn't matter how
Doesn't
big or how small.
Yeah.
Anything. I mean, it's just amazing how good you feel when you give something back.
So we got our website, Facebook page. It's Kelly's Kids with a Z. You know, and I always put up there where I'm going to be every week, somewhere different. You know, I've been down here all summer long at the Seaport Pier. I was over at Sea Isle, just trying to have some fun.
You're all over the place. You can.
I know. I overslept today, ready to meet him because we were out a little late last night. But you know what? I get up at 2:30 every morning,
I
so
wasn't
I get
out
a chance
late
to
last
sleep
night.
in.
He was
I'm
out
definitely
late last
sleeping
night.
in. Hey folks, good morning. How you doing?
He doesn't know anybody, by the way.
They're all looking at us like, what are we doing? Are we filming? We're gonna go live on Fox.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing stuff. I mean, the bottom line is that what this series of interviews is all about, talks about the positive impact that people like yourself have on the community and, you know, on your surrounding sphere. So, I mean, to me, you've had an amazing impact on our community. And matter of fact, the entire Delaware Valley, and maybe even further reach than that, you know? So that's pretty powerful. I mean, you're reaching
Yeah.
you have a really far reach when it comes to all this stuff. It's crazy.
And I never really thought of it that way until until we started the charity and were able to do different events. And people that watch me every day, I talk to 4 million people a day, and you kind of lose track of everybody's lives that are touched, and everyone's got a different scenario. For people to come up and say, hey, listen, my child was treated at St. Christopher's Hospital. The nurses were great. Here's a donation. The stuff that really hits me hard is when somebody comes and says, oh, my grandchild, this just happened the other day. My grandchild was treated at St. Christopher's. They were the best. Unfortunately, she didn't make it. She passed. But I want to make a donation in her honor because while we were there, we were treated and they took care of us. I didn't know what to say to that.
That's so sad.
I'm like, oh my gosh. But here was somebody, again, that I had connected with that saw what we were doing and wanted to come out. And a lot of people want to give back that way. So, I've kind of created that way for somebody to bring a $10 check or a $5 toy, or just come and have a cocktail and some appetizers and talk to other people. I try to get the hospital involved too, like the workers, the CEO, the nurses. They like coming out because they like hearing that too.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're in the hospital, the nurses help you, you check out and you go home and you forget sometimes I'm sure you thank them all the time.
And they take it home.
They take it home, and then for them to be able to come back and hear that story from Mary or Joni or a father that says, man, you helped us tremendously while we were in the hospital. We'd just like to thank you. Let's have some dinner. Or, because people need the positive. In a world like that, if it's all sick children, it's tough. You take that home with you. So we try to do that. It's the other part of the happy hours,
right.
A chance to, and it's their family events. It isn't like we're hooting and hollering, dancing on bar tables. It's, I like to do it at local, mom and pop, corner-owned pubs, restaurants where they can bring the kids out, have something to eat. They don't have to cook tonight, and in turn, be able to give something back.
So it's oh my God, it's September already, right?
Yeah.
So, and the year's coming. Christmas is coming.
Cousin Eddie's going to be making a trip again.
Well, a lot of things are going to happen, but my question is, this is a big time of year for you because it's like, this is what you gear up for the entire year, right?
Yeah, and obviously we're going to team up with Steve and the guys over there, the Harball Christmas Foundation over there. There's something brand new coming for that, so that's going to be really cool. Gearing up, trying to do some extra happy hours to get the toys. And one thing I've also learned too is that the toys are great at Christmas time, but come February, March, and April, when the Christmas is kind of going the wayside and all those toys are given out, the kids are still in the hospital.
That's right.
They still need stuff to play with, and that's kind of what got me going the whole thing all year round. Doing it, we've been down here down here all summer long, every weekend, doing something different. And then one of the events, the hospital said, you know what? We really have a lot of toys right now.
Clothes.
We need pajamas.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? I never thought pajamas. Okay. We did the no shower pajama hour.
Yeah, you said to me one time you'd be surprised how many kids that are coming in don't have them, right?
Well, yeah, especially St. Christopher's, it comes from North Philadelphia, within the city. And a lot of times, when your world is impacted by a sickness or an illness with your child, the other kids are still at home. If you have 3 siblings, you got 3 kids, one's in a hospital. The other 2 are really impacted by it as well because they're at home, mom and dad, all the attention's going to the child that's in the hospital. And a lot of times you need to go shopping, to buy. Here, come over here, Superman. I'm trying to avoid an accident.
He's trying to make it so I don't run into this. What do you call this thing?
They're the
Let's give them a look.
the Surreys. They call them
the Surreys. I almost walked into the Surrey.
That's a good workout too if you get everybody on there. Cause, not everybody pedals their weight.
We'll do that after the video.
Yeah, we'll do that. And instead of walk and talk with Tim, it'll be ride and talk with Tim.
Something, I don't know.